Houston and Whitney Houston. So nice to see you both. Good morning.
Thank you for having us.
So I understand you weren't too crazy about the idea of writing a book, Cissy, and you resisted at first, and then what changed your mind?
Well, I just wanted to write about me, my life, and what I like to write about, you know, and tell the world that everybody's not as bad as, you know, it seems. I didn't want to write about anybody. It seems that the only books that really sell are the people who are talking about someone who's worked with people, and then they tell all or whatever.
Right.
I didn't want to do that.
A kiss and tell type book.
Yeah.
Why not?
No.
And so you decided that if it was focusing on your faith and your music and what those things have meant to you and your family.
Absolutely.
When you first heard your mom was writing a book, were you like, oh, boy.
No, I told her, I said, write a book and tell all. She's got a lot of stories. But she's, How Sweet the Sound was her theme, and she kept to it.
Now, you talk a lot about growing up during the Depression and the role music played in your life. You started singing when you were, as I mentioned, only 5 years old.
Yeah.
A little tyke, I guess about the same age. Whitney started singing,
well,
right?
She was just a little, she was singing, but she wasn't singing. You know, I was really on a professional basis, more or less, with around the metropolitan area, you know, churches and whatnot, basically.
And you started with both spirituals and gospel?
No.
Or you started with spirituals?
Well, spirituals and gospel were like almost one and the same,
right.
You know? And my sisters and brothers, it was 4 of us, we sang quartet, a cappella first, which was, you know, all they were doing at that time. And it's wonderful music, you know.
How did you know that's what you wanted to do?
I didn't know that. I didn't want to sing.
You didn't?
I really didn't, because it took a lot of time. And I guess because my family and my father always, when they came over, we had to sing, and I was sick of that. You know?
Yeah.
I wanted to be out playing with the rest of the kids. Hey, but I did learn to love it. After a while, I learned to love it.
If you had to tell people what your music has meant to you and what your faith has meant to you.
It's meant so much to me. It's my life. Your pain sometimes gets overwhelming. And the joy is sometimes just as overwhelming. And we learn to sing it out, and that's it.
You all probably have relied on your faith even more, given the fact that life in the spotlight in the public eye is never easy.
It's not. It's you get a lot of things that you that makes you hurt, it makes you cry, and you know it's going to hurt other people in your family or whatnot. And being a mother of it all, yeah, I do. I go through a lot of trauma sometimes, you know, and trying to keep her grounded and the other parts of my family, you know, my sons and my grandchildren, because those are the ones who really actually pay for all the nonsense that happens, you know, or whatever, or that people say. And people don't realize that, you know, they hurt children.
You must be proud of your mom. What has her faith and her music taught you, Whitney, as you've grown up? I mean...
I think from growing up in church and being grounded in church, it always gives you something to reach back for and to hold on to in this business that's so crazy, so up and down. One minute you're hot, one minute you're not. But she gave me the love of God to go back to, you know, at any time, at any point.
Wasn't it good? Wasn't it fine? Wasn't it fine? Isn't it madness? He can't be mine.
Well, the book is called How Sweet the Sound, My Life with God and Gospel. Cissy and Whitney Houston, thanks so much for coming by. It's great to see you both.
See you too.
And you're doing well, Whitney?
I'm doing great. And
Yeah.
you're doing good too, kid?
I'm hanging in there.
All right, I'm praying for
And your
you.
little girl's doing
She's
well?
great. Your kid?
And Bobby?
They're
Yes,
great.
my girls are good.
Great.
And your neighbors? Okay, anyway, thanks so much.
Thank
It's good
you
to
for
see you
having me.
both.
Good to see you too.
And we'll be back.